Hello students. Go ahead and turn to the next odd page in your notebook and copy down the title, Percent of a Number Using Proportions. We've already looked at percent of a number using the 10% rule. Today we're going to look at percent of a number using proportions. Copy down these 3 steps and then we're going to look at how to solve. Step 1 is to read the problem and identify what the percent represents. A percent always stands for something. Remember, percent means that in a perfect world, if there were 100 of something, that percent is how many there would be. You need to figure out what that is talking about, how many whats. The second thing you need to do is build a table and label, label, label. Put your labels everywhere. And the third thing you should do is actually solve that proportion. So let's go ahead and look at a word problem. We're going to break it apart, copy this down, and then you can solve it with me. We're going to follow through the steps. We're going to read and identify, build a table, and then we're going to solve. The problem says, Maria has 54 flowers. 32% of Maria's flowers are pink. About how many pink flowers does Maria have? So let's look at what we're talking about here. We're looking at flowers. I have 54 flowers. And I know that 32% of them are pink. What does that mean? It means that if there were 100, how many would be pink? Exactly 32 would be pink. Okay, so I read my problem and I identified what that percent represents. The percent for this problem tells me if I had 100 flowers, then exactly 32 of them would be pink. So now I'm going to build myself a table. I'm comparing 2 things here. I'm comparing pink flowers to all my flowers. So here in my table, I'm comparing pink flowers to the total number of flowers. Or you can write all flowers. I will tell you this word total is going to show up quite a bit when we're looking at percents. So pink flowers to the total number of flowers. What do I know? Well, it says Maria has 54 flowers. Are those talking about pink or are they talking about all my flowers? This is all flowers. 32% of them are pink. This 32%, that tells me 2 pieces of information. It tells me the total and it tells me the amount of pink. Percent tells me my total. Anytime you see this percent sign, it tells you that the total is 100, right? Because percent is this concept of out of 100. So if I have 100 total flowers, then I know for certain 32 of them would be pink. That's what 32% means. But I don't have 100 total flowers. I have 54 flowers. And I'm trying to figure out how many are pink. A way that you can check to make sure your variable is in the correct spot is to look at the question. The question asks me how many pink flowers does she have. That means that something in this pink flowers column needs to be my variable because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for pink flowers. So I know that 32 flowers are pink if there are 100 total. And I don't know how many flowers are pink if there are 54 total. That's what I'm trying to find out. So I'm going to go ahead and solve this problem. I'm going to look. I don't think 32 times anything will get me 100. I don't think 54 times anything will get me 100, so I'm going to cross multiply. 100 times x is 100x. 54 times 32. Let's multiply that out. 54 times 32. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. I'm going to hold my place. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. Plus 1 is 16. So I end up with 1,728. So 100 times x is 1,728. 100 x's equals 1,728. So how do I figure out what just one x equals? Well, I have to divide by the number that's paired with x, just like when we solve proportions. This is a proportion. So I need to take 1,728 and divide by 100. Now, if you remember your powers of 10 rule, you'll know that this is just as simple as moving the decimal, but I'll go ahead and divide it out so that you can see. Can 100 go into 1? No. Can 100 go into 17? No. Can 100 go into 172? Yes, it goes in one time. I have 72 left over. I'm going to bring my 8 down. Can 100 go into 728? Sure, it goes in 7 times. I have 28 left over. Add a decimal, add a 0, bring it down. Can 100 go into 280? Yes, it can. Twice. I have 80 left over. Add another 0. Bring it down. Can 100 go into 800? Yes, 8 times. So either way, I get x equals 17.28. Now the question asks about how many pink flowers does Maria have? 17.28, that's about 17 flowers. Maybe part of another flower is pink. So we'll say that Maria has 17 pink flowers. Now, I want to double check and make sure that this is logical, okay? If there were 100, 32 would be pink. But I don't have 100, I have less than 100. So less than 32 need to be pink. Is my answer less than 32? Yes, it is. So this appears to be a logical answer. I have followed all of my steps. I solved my proportion, so I'm confident that 17 pink flowers is the right answer. Let's recap here. You read the problem and figure out what the percent means. The percent tells you two pieces of information. It tells you the total number of something, and it tells you a partial number. In this case, it tells me exactly how many were pink if there were 100 total. Then you need to build a table, find what you're looking for, and solve for it. We're going to do lots of practice with this in class. Thank you for doing your homework tonight, and we will see you tomorrow.